welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, May 25th, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Philroy Matthews was crowned Fisherman of the Year 2018 at a prize-giving ceremony held today at the Kingston Fishery Center. The ceremony was originally slated for last Friday at the Calico Fisheries Complex, but was postponed due to rain. SVG-TV Bavin Oliver attended today's prize-giving ceremony and tells us more in this report.
In the seas and inclement weather, Philroy Matthews in a vessel obstinate seized the coveted crown of Fisherman of the Year with a catch of 928 pounds. Matthews received a 75 horsepower outboard engine along with other prizes. The second place was taken by Michael Gordon with a catch of 865.5 pounds. And he received $2,000 along with other prizes, while Cliff Young captured the third position with 495.5 pounds. He received $1,000 along with other prizes. In other categories, Eli Slater took the top spot in the beach seine competition with 5,247 pounds and took home $2,000 and other prizes. Benjamin Miller captured the top prize in the rowboat competition with 36.75 pounds. While Victoria Brown, with 28.25 pounds, was the top female competitor in this category. Sohan Lucas and Stanley Bradshaw tied for first place, bringing in the heaviest single fish in Class 2, weighing 13.6 pounds. Stanley Bradshaw caught the largest number of fish, 197 heads, while the overall heaviest catch of 202 pounds was made by Sohan Lucas, who won the first prize. In Class 1, Kenroy Bruce had the heaviest single fish, at 51.8 pounds, as well as the largest number of fish, 446 heads. The competition saw 165 fishers and 56 boats entering the competition, bringing in a total catch of 8,533.35 pounds of fish. For SVG-TV Evening News, I am Bavin Oliver.
Chairman of the Fisherman's Day Organizing Committee, Winfield Tanis Abbott, has said that this year's competition was still a good one, despite a decline in the number of boats which were registered to take part. Tanis Abbott was speaking with SVG-TV on the sidelines of today's Fisherman's Day prize-giving ceremony, during which he gave his impressions on the month-long activities and explained why the closing ceremony was set for Calico despite overwhelming opposition from fisherfolk who wanted it to be held in Kingstown. Tanis Abbott said, as a protest, some fisherfolk did not register their vessels to take part in the competition.
So, where we would have had an uptake in registration last year, we saw a reduction this year. But overall, this year was very good. We had no control over the weather. God was in control of that. And it's so strange that we ended up back here like last year to have the closing ceremony.
Alright, is there anything special about Calico that attracts the authorities to have it there?
I think it has to do with the whole environment of Kingston. You know, this with all the big rats, it is very untidy, and we would have had to have it on Little Tokyo, and that might cost the government a lot of money to get it clean. But with Calico, we have to plain field. The only problem with Calico is that the wharf is too small, the facility itself is too small, where you have to sell the fish and support.
Tanis Abbott said he will be stepping down as the chairman of the Fisherman's Day Organizing Committee to allow someone else to take the festival forward.
This is actually my last year. I have come to realize that I would have done well for Fisherman's Day. I would have seen it has grown bigger since I've been chairman, and I just think that someone else needs to take over. So I just want to say that it is my last year as Fisherman's Day Committee. I will not put myself up to ever go back as chairman. I want that process now to go to someone else who can go and take it from where it's at to that other level.
Tanis Abbott took the opportunity to highlight one initiative about which he is especially pleased.
The hats off to reading, the hats off to fishing. These are initiatives and programs that I brought on along with the Education Committee since I was chairman.
It's helping to bring younger persons into the fishing industry.
Yes, so where we took it now into the primary and secondary school, and I was happy to be part of that. And I always believe that once I am involved, I take everything to a next level, and then when I reach that level, I will slowly move on to someone else and continue.
Our news team spoke with some of the persons who took part in the various categories of this year's Fisherman's Day competition, who give their impressions of the activities.
I go out in the morning about 5 o'clock, very determined because I catching the fish in one course all the time, one area all the time. So I just decide, well, that's supposed to be the course of fishing and Fisherman Day. And that day I was very stuck, so I had to meet a lot of fish. I had also leave fish and come because of the time. When I check the time, I had to leave fish and come. A lot of fish that day.
Is there anything else special you did to get this large amount of fish?
No, it's something I learned from small, and it's like, there's no problem. I normally take it as a job right now. Yeah.
My name is Carrie Slabod. I got encouraged by the Reef Guardian program I was in and learning about the different reefs and animals.
Alright, is there anything special you did in the competition that gave you an edge over some other competitions?
Not really, it's like every year it's like the same procedures on and everything.
Okay, so basically going by what your customs and your traditions.
Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar has made it clear that the government is merely creating an enabling environment for the establishment of a modern medicinal cannabis industry in SVG and not establishing the industry. Caesar made the point as he responded to a question in Parliament on Thursday, in which he was asked to provide an update on the status of the process for the establishment of a medicinal cannabis industry here. The Agriculture Minister said the government is working with stakeholders to come up with the most suitable legislative framework necessary for a modern cannabis industry to be established in SVG. He said the government has contracted a legal drafter who is in possession of the sentiments expressed by stakeholders. The draft is expected to be ready in 2 weeks' time to form the basis for further consultation between representatives of the Attorney General's chambers, potential stakeholders, farmers, community groups, and religious organizations. The Agriculture Minister further noted that several investors locally, regionally, and internationally have established an interest in participating in a modern medicinal cannabis industry.
The government is aware that parties who have expressed an interest in investing, that many have come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and some are still here to conduct feasibility studies. The government has not received any formal reports of these studies. Further, local entrepreneurs are also addressing the viability of a potential industry. I just want to note something, because we have to be very clear. The only bodies that have been charged with the responsibility to obtain information on behalf of the government are the offices, well, firstly, the Office of the Attorney General and Invest SVG. This does not prohibit anyone, local, regional, or international, as investors, to go to the public on a fact-finding mission.
Minister Caesar said it is intended that following consultations, the draft legislative framework for the medicinal cannabis industry would be ready before August this year to go to Parliament.
In the meantime, I wish to advise the following, that persons who wish to obtain guidance on possible investment opportunities in the cannabis industry are asked to contact Invest SVG. And persons who wish to express views of a legal nature are asked to write to the Office of the Attorney General. And to all, I would wish that persons, when we have the public consultations, which are ongoing, that persons will attend. It is the intention to get this project on the road sooner than later. And Mr. Speaker, since we are on the issue of cannabis, I wish to express that a bill is also in draft to address the possible usage of cannabis for religious purposes within places of worship. For the most part, the intention is to address the usage of cannabis as is sacrament by your brothers and sisters in the Rastafari livity.
Our farmers here will have to wait an additional 2 weeks or so before they receive payments for their rhizomes for the 2017-2018 harvest season. This was stated in Parliament on Thursday by Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar, who said the Ministry of Finance is finalizing arrangements for the payment to be made to farmers. He said all farmers who sold rhizomes for the 2016-2017 season and workers with the Arut Industry Association have already received payment amounting to some 1.3 million EC dollars. Caesar also told Parliament that the last audited financial report on the industry was presented in 2009. However, steps are being taken to ensure that all outstanding reports are laid in Parliament by October this year. The Agriculture Minister noted that some 30,000 pounds of starch was sold from the 2017 crop, valued at $599,000. However, over 100,000 pounds are still available due to a reduction in demand from the main purchaser.
The Arut Industry Association has engaged Windfresh through an MOU signed on the 14th of May 2018 to further address issues of marketing. The Arut Industry Association total expenditure in 2017 was $2.2 million. Starch production from the 2018 crop is estimated to be 150,000 pounds at a value of $2.995 million. At the end of 2018's harvest, the quantity of starch estimated that will be in stock will be 250,000 pounds, valued at $4.992 million, assuming the current price of US $7.35 per pound.
Caesar said despite some setbacks, there have been improvements in the Arut industry since 2012.
The number of farmers and the indicators are these. The number of farmers have increased, moving from 57 in 2012 to 170 in 2018. Acreage in 2012, 84 acres. In 2018, 139 acres. And quantity of rhizomes supplied increased from 315,000 pounds of rhizomes in 2012 to 1.079 million pounds of rhizomes in 2018 thus far. The government is cognizant of the need to replace the very aged factory. The government has received financial support from the government and people of India in the sum of US $1.02 million to assist with addressing the factory's infrastructure.
Work is ongoing on the Maritime and Hospitality Institute here, and according to Minister of Tourism and Culture Cecil Mackey, the facility is expected to bring tremendous benefits to SVG. Responding to a question in Parliament Thursday on the status of the project, which is being funded by the European Union, Mackey said the institute is being constructed to build capacity and expand the level and diversity of training available in the hospitality industry and positively impact the quality of service by creating a pool of qualified and trained Vincentians.
It is envisaged that the institute will be used as a flagship in the Caribbean region to harness the skills of prospective as well as current employees in the tourism and hospitality sector. The completion of the Hospitality and Maritime Training Institute will present immense opportunities for first-hand maritime and hospitality training, which will boost the skill set of locals and enable them to be more marketable.
He said $2.5 million have been budgeted for the project for the years 2018 and 2019. And work will commence this year on the final deliverables for the hospitality component of the project. The Tourism and Culture Minister further said that his ministry is awaiting bids from contractors for the firefighting simulator and equipment for the completion of the maritime component of the project.
Thus far, the following have been completed: a swimming pool, that is a maritime pool, administrative building, 6 guest rooms for training and accommodation, training application kitchen, which is fully furnished with industrial type equipment, restaurant and bar, and this is also fully furnished, purchase and installation of a generator that is completed, development of a curricula for the maritime and hospitality courses, and that has also been completed, and the SPAS facility, which will be operational in September 2018, and which will also be offering accredited online courses to persons in Antigua and Barbuda, the BVI, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia.
With days to go before the official ban on sand mining at Diamond, truckers have been objecting to the new mining site in the Rabaca area. Our news team visited Diamond today, where truckers were lined up waiting for loads of sand which were being taken directly from the sea. One trucker said he and his conductor had been waiting for hours and had already been paid for the sand which they were yet to collect. He added that the new location is far and will lead to an increase in the price of sand, which many persons are objecting to, and in his case, having already collected, he could not therefore ask the client to pay more. At a news conference on Tuesday, Minister of Transport and Works, Julian Francis, said that as of Monday, May 28th, there will be no more sand mining at Diamond, but truckers will be able to obtain beach sand at a new location in the Rabaca area. He added that once truckers take strategic approach, the journey can be made manageable.
Truckers at Diamond right now, if you get 2 loads of sand per day, it's a miracle with the amount of trucks that's backed up there on a daily basis with the lack of sand or the low level of sand supply there. I guarantee you, you can, if you start at 5 o'clock in the morning like I used to do when I was running my truck, you can run 3 loads of Rabaca, of sand from Rabaca to town, rather than wasting whole day at Diamond for 1 truckload. So I want the truckers to take this into consideration. And as they all know, it is easier on the tires to run it in the cooler hours of the day, that is early morning, get up early and go and get your sand and come back down, and you have a chance to go back out in the midday on the hot pitch, but take your time and burn less tires.
A sex offenders registry should be seen as a tool to ensure accountability here in SVG. That's the view of health psychologist Dr. Joselle Miller. In a recent interview with SVG-TV News, Dr. Miller denounced all acts of domestic and sexual abuse, especially against children. She said that a sex offenders registry will not only notify the public of known offenders, but will also hold these persons accountable for their crimes.
I think one of the things that needs to happen here in St. Vincent is accountability. Too often things are happening and persons are not held accountable for it. And a sex offenders registry would be ideal. It would be a starting point that persons understand that we are taking these things seriously. You hurt our children in a sexual nature, physical nature, however, you are going to be held accountable for it and you have to pay the cost. It also lends itself for, to put a stop to the repeat offending. Okay, because persons, if you get away with it once, you find that it's easier for you to try it again. But if you're placed on this registry and persons are now aware, and it should be made public that persons know who you are, so that by the time you start blinking your eyes in the direction of a child, that you have been already identified and that you can be incarcerated again if you cross the line.
The health psychologist, however, noted that she is a keen believer in restoration.
That when persons commit crimes and whatever, even these sexual assaults, that these persons need help. incarceration is one thing, but I believe that it is also important for us to try and work with them, because a lot of them have an illness. It's a disorder that they themselves need to work with. And if they're going to be reintegrated into society at some point, we can't just simply idly throw our hands in the air and say, okay, that's okay, you have done your time. If you haven't been given the adequate treatment, assessment, and evaluations, then you're back to square one.
The SVG Human Rights Association has also advocated for a sex offenders registry to be set up here.